President Biden's executive action on the border being met with criticism over the timing and the amount of illegal crossings still being allowed. My next guest posted this thread on X on why this order won't work, writing, quote, a cap of 2,500 illegal crossings a day is more than 1 million a year. How does that shut down the border? This is what the Biden administration is normalizing. A boom for cartels and smugglers, writes Chad Wolf. Joining me now is the man himself, former acting Homeland Security Secretary and America First Policy Institute Executive Director, Chad Wolf. Chad, great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I don't understand. We know that 10 million people at least have come into this country illegally on Joe Biden's watch. Why is he allowing 2,500 a day further and saying that that is going to secure the border?
Yeah, it's a great question. Obviously, the goal should be zero. Zero illegal apprehensions, zero individuals coming into the country illegally. The idea of somehow allowing and legitimizing 2,500 a day, that's almost 1 million a year, it defies logic. It doesn't make any sense. It also signifies to the cartels and others that up until 2,500, we're likely not going to do much. It's going to be business as usual, as it has been for the past 3.5 years, and only after a certain figure is hit, then the United States will start to take action. It's the wrong signal. It's the wrong approach. It does nothing to stop catch and release, the asylum abuse, the parole abuse, and everything else that is incentivizing these migrants to come.
Krisha.
Yeah, Chad, I mean, you're exactly correct in terms of all the issues with this executive order. I mean, why don't we have catch and release, especially criminals who, like the individual who shot the 2 police officers in New York City? I mean, that wasn't incorporated into the executive order. What do you make of all of that, in terms of an assessment here?
Well, again, what we see from this executive order is the administration managing the situation. They're not actually trying to solve the issue, and solving the issue means how do we stop the flow? How do you disincentivize individuals from coming? How do you hold people accountable for when they do come? All this is a cap, and it's a cap that allows the Biden administration to turn individuals back around quickly. But what they're not telling the American people is at the same time they're doing that, they are allowing untold numbers of individuals through ports of entry every day through the CBP One app and through the use of parole authority. And so the flow is not diminishing. It's not going to stop. They're simply rerouting these individuals from the desert and from the Border Patrol, which is this cap, to ports of entry. And so the flow is going to continue, and it doesn't, as you indicated, doesn't address those public safety threats that are coming across the border and the national security threats either.
I mean, the other thing is about all the unknowns, these unknowns of the people who got away. 2 million people apparently gotaways. Or how about the unknown of 50,000 Chinese nationals coming into America just since October? What is that about? Is Xi Jinping creating his own mini army here in America? What do you make of that?
Well, there's certainly something at play when you see that increase in Chinese nationals coming across the border in about 12 to 18 months. The number went from about 1,000 per fiscal year to upwards of 25,000 in a fiscal year. So something is at play here. There's something organized going on. And again, the Mexican government is allowing this to happen. They know that it's happening. You can't have that many individuals come into your country, fly into your country, and then cross illegally on your northern border, our southern border, without some knowledge, without the government knowing. And so, look, it's time for the new Mexican government, which won't be in power just yet. It's time for them to do something as well. But again, the gotaways will continue to increase because what you're going to see from this cap is individuals get turned around. They're simply going to come into the country as gotaways because they're going to want to get in one way or another, and we're not, again, disincentivizing them to come.
Yeah, all right. Well, we went on the streets and in Bartiromo Boulevard and asked people about Biden's executive action. Watch this.
Whatever he does is just like, I'm not even really paying attention to it. I'm really focused on Donald Trump.
It's a balance about being safe and sorry. I've seen shows where people cross and it's very deadly and dangerous. So trying to dissuade people from coming through that because they're risking their life. This is a great country, and people want to come here. And so ideally they follow the rules because that's what you do here in America.
He's already screwed everything up. So now he's out there saying, oh, he's going to shut down this and shut down. Had he had just left everything like Trump had set up in the first place to keep America safe, we wouldn't be in the mess we are today. Illegal aliens coming in have more rights and are getting more of our taxpayer dollars to allow them to come in. I see them sometimes on the street homeless.
It's such a political hotbed. I think taking a strong stance is where we have to start. It's affecting our whole country, and it's something that we have to really get behind.
He could have done this a long time ago. He said he couldn't, but obviously he can. So why didn't he do it?
Wow, look at the sentiment of the ordinary people on the street. Trisha, jump in here. I mean, this is just people in New York that my team went on and around and asked people. They are ripping mad over the state of this economy, the state of this country, and what we're seeing from the Biden camp.
You're right. People are pissed, and this is New York City.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's so alarming, though, Maria. Gordon Chang was on earlier today, and he was talking about, the intel and really the spying that's happening through our military, them trying to recruit these new pilots and get information into our technology. And then you have 50,000 Chinese nationals coming over illegally. You have to wonder.
Just since October.
Just since October. You have to wonder what's going on. But Chad, you and Krisha talked about the litany of exceptions for a lot of these illegal immigrants. Talk more about the CBP One app, because that seems like another loophole that's going on here. It seems like it allows another 1,500 people come in daily. When is enough enough?
Yeah, not only the CBP One app, but also the parole. Look, they're flying in upwards to 40,000 individuals every single month into U.S. communities under the guise of parole, which is an unlawful use of parole. They're exempting unaccompanied alien children, what we call UACs, from this. So you're going to continuing to see human trafficking of children on a scale that we have never seen before. Almost 500,000 children have come into the United States trafficked in the last 3.5 years because of the policies of the Biden administration. So look, the clips that you showed, the American people aren't stupid. They're not going to forget for the past 3.5 years it was this president and this administration's policies that created this crisis. And now they stand up at the White House with a sign that says securing the border. It's exactly the opposite of what they've done purposely for the past 3.5 years.
Yeah. Fox News' Bill Maloogian, meanwhile, caught up with a group of illegal migrants crossing the border this week. And this was after Biden's executive order came down. Watch this.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Why'd you come to Egypt? Why'd you come to America?
For a job.
For a job?
Yeah.
You know it's illegal to cross the border like this, right?
Yeah.
You don't care?
Yes, I'm okay.
Chad, your reaction?
Well, I mean, they know what the rest of the world knows, that there's no consequence. And that's what this is at the end of the day. There's no deterrence and there's no consequence. These individuals know that it's illegal, but they don't care because they know that they will be released into American communities probably 48 to 72 hours after they're picked up by the Border Patrol, if they are picked up at all. And that's just the reality. We can talk about asylum and parole and all these other immigration terms, but what these immigrants or migrants and illegal aliens care about most is, are they released into American communities? And you have a 7 or 8 out of 10 chance getting released under President Biden's policies than you have previously.
Chad, what do you make of the AG, Merrick Garland, as well as the FBI, Christopher Wray, again this week talking in front of the Senate, saying that they're expecting a terrorist attack on our soil? How much of that expectation is now as a result of the open border?
Well, I think there's a lot that contributes to that. Obviously, when you talk about attacks to the homeland and threats to the homeland, a lot of that originates overseas. But the question is, how do you get individuals that are perhaps conspiring and want to do Americans harm? How do they come into the country? There's a variety of different ways that they do that. But when you have a southern border so wide open, they are going to take risk and they're going to take chances to cross that border. And you only have to look to about the 360 individuals that we've picked up on terrorist watch list over the past 3.5 years, or the over 100,000 special interest aliens that we've picked up along that southern border. We know that bad individuals are trying to cross that border. It's just common sense. They embed themselves in the massive flow of individuals coming across in the hopes that Border Patrol and that DHS will not recognize, will not identify who they are, and so that they can come into the United States to do whatever it is that they're going to do. So absolutely, that southern border and the policies and the fact that we have record numbers that we have never seen before absolutely contributes to the state and to the threat and to the risk to the homeland.
Really concerning moment in time. Chad, thanks very much for weighing in. Chad Wolf joining us this morning.